Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ears to the East, where effectively me and Neon, what we're doing is kind of like a part two to that video we put out the other day, because we put out that video the other day, which was all our conjecture and stuff leading up to this whole Mike Einziger Band-Maid crossover song Bestie, and we were putting all our conjectures out there. Well, now we've both heard it, we can actually talk about how right or wrong we were. Basically, we could just sort of like give our thoughts on this. Now, we both actually did reaction videos to this. I don't usually do reactions, but I posted one, you posted one. So before we get into like the expectations versus reality side, what did you think of this one? What did you think of this one?
Oh, you throw me under the bus straight away, are you?
Damn right. I got a hat to think about.
All right, here's the build up. Like here's the ooh, and Neon taking it.
Well, I don't like to talk too much. I like to give other people a chance. You know, I'm not big on interrupting people. You know that.
Yeah, we both know that's bullshit. Right. I you know what? The first time I listened to it, I thought it was good. Like you, I think you summed it up quite nicely there. Expectation versus reality is
Yeah.
can be a bit of a thing. And I listened to it the first time, and I thought it was good. I've listened to it multiple times since then, and I still think it's good, but I also think it's just all right, which is a very un-Band-Maid thing to say. When you compare it to their other songs, because this song is distinctly different. It is. It does. I said in my reaction video, it feels like it's got like this early 90s, late 90s, early 2000 kind of like vibe to it. It's
A few people said that in my comments as well, actually, which was interesting.
Yeah, the way that it's written, like I'm not the biggest Incubus fan by any stretch of the imagination, but you can really hear that Incubus influence in some of the riffs and some of the guitar things, which it sounds cool because Band-Maid's playing it. But I said at the same time, does that make it like distinctly Band-Maid? So I feel like no matter what kind of where you're going to stand in this argument, there's always things to like about it. I like that it's something different. I like that they've gone and done a collab, because I always wanted to do a collab. The reality is though that the collab for me is kind of passable. And I don't mean you were talking about this before we hit that lovely big record button, but we were both surprised at the traction the song was getting. Now, anytime Band-Maid release a song, it's like the World War IV, man. Everything goes into chaos, and everyone's like, "Release this song." And I don't
We
get
just
that.
skipped over World War III. It was so good.
Yeah, exactly. Miku won World War III with the pigeons.
Yeah, she's won that already. Yeah, world domination achieved.
World domination achieved. And it's just one of the, I kind of lost where I was going there. We were making jokes, but
Nah, sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, like I said, it's good to have a collab. It's good to have the Band-Maid one. I don't think it's up there. I've listened it to a few times, and I think my appreciation for it maybe wanes the more I listen to it, because it becomes, when I listen to the first time, like when you take that maybe a little bit of gloss off it because it's Band-Maid and because it's everything you love. Listening back on it, I think it's okay.
Do you know what? I mean, first of all, before we get into this, because I think realistically, I think what most people probably know this video is going to be about, if they know that we're an honest. Sorry.
My brain's just clocked back into gear. What we were talking about beforehand is obviously, like I said, that the World War III thing is like the attention is there. Everybody loves Band-Maid, and
Oh yeah,
videos get a lot of traction and stuff like that. My mind just clicked back into the gear. And I haven't seen that with this song. Like the rewatchability, the re-listens, the numbers for this across everywhere in terms of reactors, the actual song itself, very, very low compared to their usual stuff. And I think that's a bit of an indication.
It should be pointed out that this song came out in each time zone individually as midnight came around, and even here in Japan where it first came out, that was like I'm assuming it first came out, that was less than 24 hours ago. So obviously we're basing off on the figures we got at the moment, but I agree with what you're saying. A lot of the reactors and video people I usually see jumping on these things would usually have higher views by now. Like I posted my little reaction video that I did for a laugh. I posted that first before anyone else because I
Rub
pressed
it
early and like it's funny. Harrow, who's like one of the big people in the Band-Maid community, he put like a little thing underneath my video saying first in the world reaction to Bestie, which I thought was cool. And usually by this point, because I don't have any particularly big channels, usually all the other reactors, yourself included, would have overtaken me because like by now my early advantage would have been overtaken by your popularity. But I've noticed that my reaction video still at this point still has the most views, which means that I think the general interest for the song peaked, and then it's not like one where people are going back and listening to it over and over again, or like they want to see what reactors think, like, oh my god, I got to see what the reactor thinks of this, I'm not going to believe what I'm going to say. So clearly well, I say clearly, but the stats that you're talking about seem to suggest that it hasn't had the wow factor with people. Now of course this is all presumptions, but what I'm going to assume here is I'm going to assume most people watching this, knowing that we're an honest channel, are expecting more of us to talk about
why the
kind of
song
like
is
that
so
expectations
great.
reality. I mean, the thing is like you say that I think the one thing anyone who says that this song isn't just like a good song, if they think it's really bad, I'd be like, what don't you like about it? I mean, it's got a nice melody, it's got like good instrumentation, it's fairly simple, but there's nothing bad about the song. It's just by the same token, the two things that it could have had is either being obviously in some way exceptional, which
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to say this is an exceptional song, and the other thing is just some kind of identity that
Oh, we've cut out a little bit. I'm gonna keep waffling.
I was hoping for.
There you go.
Oh, hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cut,
sorry, I'm
you're gonna have
getting
to
you're cutting in a bit.
yeah, you're gonna have to re-say that a little bit. They cut off.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So basically, yeah, the two things that I think everyone was kind of hoping for is that for this song to either be in some way musically exceptional, which of course we have no doubt the guy can do, but you know, you don't expect everyone to just be hitting perfect all the time.
Yeah.
Or for it to be somehow so different and identifiably the collaboration to shine through in it being so unusual for Band-Maid that people can at least see it as an interesting diversion. Now, for me, I like a lot of people have said, oh yeah, it really reminds me of Incubus. It really sounds more like an Incubus song.
Yeah.
And they talked about it sounding
by the guy who's in Incubus? No way.
If you didn't know that going in, well, this seems that if you didn't know there was a collaborative writer going into this, I don't know whether you would have been able to work it out just from hearing the song. I mean, to be honest, if someone says to me, oh, it reminds me of like late 90s, like American guitar rock, I'm not saying there's not any good stuff, but I'm saying as a general, we're talking about fairly limited number of chords, maybe slow progressions. Okay, maybe some interesting chords, but you know, just basically slowed down tempo, that's what I got from this. I didn't really feel this was like, oh, a identifiably different style. It was just slower and slightly more regimented chord changes, giving more room for the melody to be the focus. And for me, that is not like the style of, okay, there might be little nuances, but I don't listen to this and go, oh, this has a distinct style. I just go, well, this is just kind of veering a little bit more towards a lot of the reasons why I don't listen to Western music.
I would make the argument that this song is better because it's got that Band-Maid flair to it. I would hate to hear what this song would be like if it wasn't the girls playing this, because I think they bring so much to the table. I think this song is like sex to me. Like when sex is great, it's great. But when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Wait,
that is Band-Maid in a nutshell for me. Like even their worst songs.
Oh, Band-Maid. Okay, yeah. I meant you said just this song. I was like, your sex is generally mediocre.
Always
the whole catalog. Okay.
And that's what Band-Maid is for me. Like even their like maybe unappreciated, not talked about much songs are still pretty good in the scheme of most bands, let's be honest.
Well, that's the main takeaway, is that if it wasn't for the precedent of this being a song with Band-Maid, if we didn't know who was writing it, if we didn't know any of that, if it was just delivered with no prior announcement, prior ceremony or anything like that, you would go, all right, this is a pretty decent rock song.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. I like this. It's nicely played. It's got a good melody. Probably wouldn't be like rushing to go out and check more. I'd just be like, yeah, this is cool.
I mean, the debate I've seen quite a lot in my comic section and obviously on the video itself is a lot of people are praising like how obviously the slow tempo. There's an argument, not an argument, but there's a lot of debates going on about whether or not the tempo should be a little bit higher. And a lot of people saying it's nice for them to try something different and to slow the tempo down a little bit.
But
And
here's the problem.
the problem with that is, and I agree, it's
Yeah.
nice to do that, but when you're doing a collaboration with somebody that's going to be technically a one-time thing, you kind of want to wow
Oh,
people.
you're cutting out. Sorry there.
Sorry, I said when you're doing a collaboration with somebody, you kind of want to wow somebody. You need to. For me, I've always been in the opinion if you're gonna make a collab, then you should do a collab that's different and
But I mean,
maybe a little bit
I
out
agree.
there.
I agree with you totally on that. But the other side to that argument as well is that, I mean, it's nice for them to do something different, do a slow mid-tempo song. It's like, well, did you not hear Memorable? Did you not hear Page? Did you not hear About Us? Did you? I mean, these are songs where they did that. And interestingly enough, because they were slower songs, they went for a different timbre. They went for a different sound. You know, the songs deliberately sounded different to address the fact that a slower song, if you're playing electric guitar on a slower song, as a general, the electric guitar, the urgency that often is what an electric guitar is best for,
Yeah.
kind of seems a little bit more just like a thick noise without as much to do. And you want to instead fill those slower songs with more of a different type of color, which is why you maybe go for something like an acoustic that has more of the sort of the body sound of the guitar, or you add things like piano or the production effects. And so for this, it's like, Band-Maid. It's nice to hear Band-Maid doing mid-tempo songs. I like that as much as anyone. It's just like, for me, this is like that. But whereas Band-Maid usually would take their mid-tempo songs and do something interesting with it, it's like this was just like, just do it as a rock song. Again, it's weird because none of the things we're saying are negatives. It's just more that we're acknowledging that Band-Maid has done all of these things before better. I think that's more what it is. It's just
I think for me, again, surprise, shock. It sounds like an Incubus song a little bit, just with the girls playing it, rather than a Band-Maid kind of centric song.
Okay,
Oh,
so here's a question to you. Do you think that, I mean, I don't think either of us know much about this guy. Do
No.
you think that maybe he was actually doing this with the best possible intentions because he knew that this was a band with a keen fan base and he didn't want to rock the boat by doing anything too weird because he thought that it might upset the fans or something like that? Do you think that could be the reason why he veered towards something quite safe?
Maybe, although I feel like if that's his mindset going into this one, then I feel like, well, obviously he's done very successful in the industry, but I think he's in the wrong job.
It's true, that wouldn't be the most creative thing. I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
That I can't think that the intention there was to do that and to play it safe. I don't think they'd intentionally go into the song to play it safe. I
don't know. I just want to give the guy the benefit of a doubt because I feel like I don't really know much about him and I feel like I'm slagging him off. And
again, I'm not the biggest Incubus fan in the world. I haven't really listened to Incubus consistently for since 10 years ago, to be honest. And it just sounds like it kind of sounds a little bit normally like them. I think this is just his niche. I think that's just the way he writes songs or produces them. I'm still of the personal opinion that this song sounds so much better because it's the girls, because you've got a little bit of Misa flair, Canny flair, kind of in there, doing their own stuff, and giving it that little bit of oomph that it seriously needs. I would hate to see this song, I think, given to somebody else because I think we would have a drastically different project, and I don't think it would get anywhere near the attention.
I hate to say this. I hate to say this because the thing is, in my head, I was thinking, okay, after this point, we're going to veer towards trying to find compliments. And that's what I was thinking. But just when you said that, you reminded me of probably the most damning thing I have to say about this. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to get out of the way and then we're going to try and focus on the positive, which is you mentioned about Akane. Now, I gave a compliment for the fact there was that interesting bit where they went that sort of playing off the trip. That was that cool little break. With exception to that, there's been very few songs I've ever heard where Akane has sounded so restrained.
Yes, I agree. Same with Misa as well. Same with Misa.
Misa had the occasional run in there.
She did, but she had this one part in that song where she's just hitting one note, literally for 30 seconds of that song. It's literally do 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 do.
But if you look at songs like
which is so.
I mean, again, like when you look at don't you tell me, if you look at just the bass line for that, the bass line for that is incredibly simple. So I think that
Yeah.
like sometimes she might do that, but I am tended to agree with you. As much as I'm trying to play devil's advocate, I'm tending to agree with you that when I hear the way Akane was playing, I'm like, did someone just write the bass line too? But anyway, look, yeah, we're not saying anyone is restraining them. We're just like trying to work out how did we kind of get to a place where Band-Maid were playing a song where it's like, yeah, I like it, but problem is that I already know your Band-Maid, and that means that unfortunately this song had to be either weird, it had to be
Yeah.
bad for being weird, or it had to be something where you just went, well, that was worth it just for the ride. But instead we were just like, feels
This
very calm.
this
So anyway, look,
this for me feels like again, probably not that I want to damn it any more than we already have. I feel like we've been overly negative on this one, but but this reminds me of like the Baby Metal Little Uzi Vert collab, where I feel like this is going to come out, have its time in the sun for like 30 days, and then die in really unceremonious
I
death.
do I do think this song will pop up nicely in playlists though. Like if I'm listening to a Band-Maid playlist and this comes up, it's not like I'm going to be like, oh fuck, not that. And that's what I
Yeah,
guess that is one of the benefits of not going for what I would have preferred them to do, which is something out there. I guess if you don't go for something too out there, at least you're always going to probably bank a good playlist. So
yeah. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, for me, the positives for me, and I said this again.
let's do it. Let's do it.
I said this in my reaction review. The two standouts for me was Miku's backing vocals. Really, really enjoyed them. Her harmonies, I thought, were amazing on this song, and also the star for me, which is not usually the star because I'm always gushing over the other girls a little bit more. But I thought Saiki was amazing for this. I feel like Saiki really, really made
This
this
was her
song.
song.
Yeah, without her, this would have been a shambles. I fear.
Ah, it would have been shambles. You said a shambles. Ah,
Yeah, I know.
that was nice. That was
I
nice.
know. I know. Oh no! If only I didn't say A in an unseen world.
And then I missed it. And then oh.
I know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This was Saiki's song. And I think the main reason it was Saiki's song was because, as we mentioned, not assigning any reason, we don't know the reason why, but because for whatever reason, the band, because obviously the band were involved as well. It's not just Mike Einziger, whatever his name is. Because everyone involved in writing this song had decided to go for a more pedestrian pace. It meant that we weren't able to feast so much on the cornucopia of insane instrumental and this good thing about Band-Maid, it's never twiddle, it's like the nuances that they threw in there. This was less nuanced, and as a result it was more providing a bed for which the melody, which was a good melody, I like it, not like maybe a classic but definitely a really strong melody, that melody was left out in the open and it was presented as like focus on the melody. That's what as you as a listener were given, focus on the melody. And from that perspective, it was, like I say, good melody, maybe not like a classic, but definitely a good melody. And most of all, carried beautifully by Saiki, who's just showing how much her voice is developing. Very underrated singer. I think we can all agree on that. Even though lots of people love her, I think she still doesn't quite get the credit she deserves a lot of the time.
I agree as well. Like that, I think maybe it's her personality, or maybe I say that probably the wrong way because I feel like maybe she was kind of the perception around her is like I said, that more of that Ice Queen image. And I feel like the last maybe like year and a half, I feel like she's really tried to like get away from that image a little bit. Like she's been doing more, and we've been seeing her more smiles, more. She just looks generally more happy. So this song compared with that, it's nice to see her kind of like take center stage and really kind of really grasp it a little bit more.
I was always intrigued by a few things about Saiki, because the thing is that when you hear about the description when she first got introduced to the maid outfits, which was like something that she wasn't really like into, but then she later described it as being like an armor. And when you describe it as an armor, you can kind of understand that someone who's maybe not 100% extroverted, who likes having something that they can wear in front of them, an image that kind of protects them. And when you consider that obviously growing up, she seems that she was really into like fashion and stuff. It does seem like maybe she's one of those people who she's not and I don't know, it's always difficult to predict this sort of stuff from the outside, and you can think you know someone from the outside without knowing them. But I get the feeling that she's probably one of those people who she's not ultra extroverted. And so she likes sort of clothes and things because she can present herself more in the way she looks and the things she does than necessarily in having to say the words, which again is why the Miku dynamic's so perfect. And maybe also why Miku would have probably seen such a positive in her, because she's got the voice. She just kind of does the job. But that's the thing, is like Miku is not the lead guitarist or the lead singer, but she's the lead member. Whereas Saiki, who is the lead singer, who you'd usually present like that, is actually kind of, she just sort of fits into the group rather than standing out front. And I think you made an interesting point about the whole Ice Queen thing, because I'd never really thought of her like that, but I know that there's kind of that joking reference to her in the community. But yeah, I do think with her playing the piano at the show and everything, and just kind of like having a bit of a giggle, I think she's just allowing herself to be herself more and more and more. So
yeah, that image, I think, is starting to come away now. I think over the last, like you said, year and a half, 2 years, I feel like that's kind of ebbing away a little bit more, and we're getting to see a little bit more of her. I've always quite liked that dynamic with Band-Maid, though, just for the fact that they got two introverts in the band. You got like Saiki, which is like that stoic introvert, and you got Misa, which is the awkward introvert, the weird one. But you can't help but find her adorable. And then obviously Akane and Miku are just like, they are up there. They are like the popular girls in high school.
I think the way they describe Konami, and I think this seems to come across, is that she's kind of like a person of two images, in that like off stage she's a total quiet little introvert, you know, sort of giggly, playful, but not the big loud one. Then you put her on stage and then switch goes on. I totally agree though, and actually I think one of the things, as someone who's obviously having worked with bands and stuff, and I know you've done band stuff as well, but I mean, from like working with bands and things, like the one thing I know, it's not only a stereotype, it's true, is that the two people you most like dread meeting in any band is the lead singer and the lead guitarist, because they tend to be egotistical twats half the time. That's not so true in Japan, I'm glad to say. I mean, that's one of those things that's been nicely shaken by working with musicians in Japan. But as a general, the stereotype of the egotistical singer and guitarist is the thing. So Band-Maid is like the perfect antidote, in that the singer and the guitarist are both quite comfortable, nice, normal people, and the rhythm guitarist did the nut job.
There's always like that meme really comes to life there in Japan, though. That's probably why they're all grounded. There's always an Asian better than you.
I've never seen that, but I can imagine it already.
Yeah, there's always an Asian person out there that could do it better than you.
That's my life for the last 8 years is realizing that.
And considering obviously they're from Japan, like, you know, the culture over there is different, and I want to say the skill levels over there for guitarists and singers are way better than I think they are in the West. For such a small country, really.
But this brings up the question then, and this is the question that I don't know if we're going to even get we're not going to get a definitive answer, but it's a question I just want to pose, because I think this is an interesting one.
Go on.
Is that ultimately always going to be the problem when the Japanese artist collaborates with a Western writer? And I'm not saying there isn't talent in the West, but I'm just saying that, like, and you know, I'm not this guy as well. I mean, like, let's give this guy his dues. He's got plenty of hit singles in multiple genres. He's got like a Harvard degree, so there's whatever you think about his music, you can't deny he's got the smarts.
I'm gonna
the whole ethos of writing in the West tends to be a little less focused on nuance.
Yeah. I'm going to say 50-50 here. I'm going to say there's potential. There's always potential. There's going to be artists that are going to absolutely smash out of the park. I have faith that there is going to be a good collaboration. Again, harking back to Baby Metal, the Little Uzi Vert stuff, I've made no secret that I detest that collaboration. I do not see the point of it at all, apart from two fan bases that wouldn't usually mix. Let's do a song together and try and grow our...
Apart from pissing you off.
Yeah, Instagram numbers. That's what that song felt like. Let's get our social media numbers up a bit more. Because I really don't see that collaboration was fucking awful. But then you also get the Body Slam F Hero one, which is absolutely amazing. I've got to say, I've yet to see any kind of decent collaboration from the West with a Japanese artist yet that I think is amazing, which is not setting up very well for the whole Warning Band-Maid one. Although I do feel like they've got way more
Well,
potential than
yes.
this. So I'm more optimistic about that than probably any of the Western ones we've done so far. Because even with the Incubus one, I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. Really? You know, you
But
know.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Is I like, and I've said this so many times, I'm going blue in the face, and people argue this one. As of yet, I've not heard a convincing argument against it. But I'm gonna is that for me, a collaboration works best when your artists, in the same way that a band works best when all the members have clearly defined roles that don't overlap. A collaboration works best when the two collaborators have areas where they can make up for something the other artist can't do as well. Now, I did a whole video about the potential, if one does happen, of a Warning Band-Maid song. And I pointed out there that for me, the Warning strongest suit is that they can write catchier choruses than Band-Maid can. And as much as I love Band-Maid, they're not a chorus band. They don't do catchy choruses. They got a couple, but like the Warning, who I'm not so much a fan of, every single one of their songs seems to be designed to be sing-alongable. So I was like, if you get the Warning, like bringing that energy and then Band-Maid filling in with nuance, there is room for a collaboration. Like with the F Hero Body Slam Baby Metal one, I mean, you've got a rock band, you've got a three-piece girl group, and a rapper. It's like they literally have no overlap. It's the perfect idea for a collaboration, and because it was well written, it worked.
I think that's the main
But
thing. Like it's
when
suited
it
all
comes to
three of
this
them.
one, you've got like a guitarist writer in the guy from Incubus, and a band who've already got a guitarist writer, and it's like, well, for this to work, you've got to either bring something totally different, a totally different skill, or you've got to write a song that is so different from what Konami could do herself, which I
Yeah.
don't quite feel we got. It just
I
was like the occasional little Easter egg that he was
yeah,
involved rather than something totally
going back
different.
to going back to your point, what you said about maybe playing it safe, maybe there is a little bit of something to that because with this collaboration, I know I would have preferred it if they would have gone full Incubus and it sucked.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
because
yeah,
bec- bec-
exactly,
because
exactly.
I could turn around after that and go, well, at least it was something different. Didn't like it, but
Yeah,
at least it was something different. This doesn't seem like it's like 20% Incubus, but they didn't go all the way. But then it feels like the girls are all restrained and not really going all out and proper Band-Maid
yeah.
mode.
I
Uh,
know no one should get this wrong, but just to
mm,
protect your point and protect what we're saying, I'm just going to repeat that point. When we say restrained, we're talking about the sound that they're playing. We're not literally suggesting someone's telling them not to play. Because I do believe that, I mean, Band-Maid obviously agreed to everything that you hear in there. So, I mean, obviously this is a group decision, but yeah, we're
yeah.
saying restrained is in meaning they don't seem to be quite showing the same flair that they do in other songs. That's what
Yeah,
I mean.
yeah, like I said, it's not so Incubus that it's like you can 100% tell it's Incubus, but it's not so bad. It doesn't have that usual Band-Maid flair, like pixie dust that we associate with them. That everything they touch is golden. So when I look at this song, I think it's good, but where does it go? Because I don't like again. I feel like we are being way overly negative here, but I can't help but look at this and go, where does this sit in my rankings? Like if I was to take the song just by itself and go, right, where am I going to put this as like the all-time big?
Inoffensively, somewhere very much in the middle.
I wouldn't.
Very inoffensively in the middle.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say it would be very very low for me.
But you're only, I mean, to be
Mm.
clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're only saying that based on the precedent of what Band-Maid's other songs are.
Band-Maid, yeah.
And this is the thing. Again, if we were hearing this on its own, it's the first time we ever heard his artists, then it would be fine. The problem is again, it comes down to those two things. It's good, but it's coming out on the back of a band who already are exceptional.
Yeah.
And it's got a collaboration, but the collaboration in no way is taking them into any direction that they wouldn't already be able to go safely on their own. So in other words, everything that was the excitement of this song has kind of just been sort of like, those things never occurred. And what instead we got was a song that's just, it's all right.
Yeah, I said
that's
this. Sorry, I said this in my reaction as well. I said like the songwriting. I have sympathy for this kind of track because if you go too far Band-Maid, it just sounds like another Band-Maid song. But if you go not too far Band-Maid, everybody's like, well, this is not Band-Maid. Why are they doing a collab? Because it's not the band I love. So there's never ever going to be Like, it's really hard to find that middle ground of like a perfect collab.
But
Where
you were right before. They should have, and this is what I said in our previous video, and I agree with you 110% now saying it. They should have just gone. They should have just gone crazy. I mean, my whole understanding is that this Mike, I'm going to get his name right at least once.
Michael Fassbender.
Is Michael Fassbender. So the good thing about Michael Fassbender is, apart from crashing out in the Mons, the good thing about Michael Fassbender is the fact that he has, maybe I haven't heard all these songs. He has apparently written in different styles, so he has got the range, and that's kind of the thing. Is that I feel like if he'd done that, I don't know if it was bravery or what, but if he'd done that, we would all be celebrating, going, you know what, even if it had been absolutely mad, even if it had been something we would all listen to it and go, what the hell is that? I think we'd have been sitting here going, you know what, that was weird. Please don't play it live, but you know what?
Yeah, don't ever play it again. But at least it was something. And I can't even say that with this one. It feels maybe a little bit too safe. But it feels so safe. It feels so safe. Sorry, go on.
Sorry.
Go on.
So I was going to say, do you feel like if it had been too weird, your response would have been more like your response to the Little Uzi Vert song, in that you'd have gone, "Oh, what the fuck is that? That's crazy."
Yeah, but the thing with the Little Uzi Vert song is, like I said, like I fucking hate it. I detest it. But at least it's something so completely different that I can go, all right, I can see it as take my personal feelings away from it. I kind of look at it and I can go, all right, it's something different. You know, it's out there. I can appreciate it for what it is. It doesn't mean I have to like it though. You know.
So you respect that it exists and what it was trying to achieve.
Yeah.
You just don't like it.
I just don't like it. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
But I don't get that sense with this. It just, like you said, it feels safe. Or maybe there's not enough creativity to the point where it just, I don't know, it kind of peters out a little bit for me.
3 favorite things about Bestie. Number 1 has got to be Saiki.
Yes.
Number 2 is apparently Miku wrote the lyrics for this. And I believe all the lyrics are in English, which means that if they had like the collaborator was an English speaking guy, and one of the most curious things about the song was the entirely English lyrics written entirely by the Japanese member. That's kind of a curiously balls out crazy move in itself. So I'll give it that. And third thing I would say is any Band-Maid is something interesting to listen to, and it doesn't take away from what we already had. Those are my 3 positives.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, even bad Band-Maid is still good Band-Maid, to be fair. Even their most even their most distinctly average songs are still better than most of the crap we listen to these days. What I would say, going back to your second point about Miku writing the lyrics, I'm kind of happy she wrote in English, because I know a lot of people thought that was well overdue. I'm kind of sad at the same time that this is the song that happened with.
Hey, it's a good testing range.
Yeah, I suppose. I just feel like we're not going to get another English song from them now for another couple of years, and it kind of upsets me a little bit that this is the song we got.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've made my opinions pretty abundantly clear in the past that I like artists, if they want to try writing in English, that's fine. But if they don't actually speak English, then it should be like something they have fun with. But I kind of don't want it to replace them writing in their own language, because I kind of feel like they're not going to be able to. It's because it feels like they're appeasing fans rather than creating a message. So in this case, it just seems like a fun thing. But I don't really want or need it to happen again. It was just like, it was a curiosity, a fun curiosity for her to do it maybe a couple of times. Because otherwise we could get "Don't Let Me Down" again.
I really like that song. I'm not even gonna lie.
Do you like the lyrics?
You make me so wet. You're always getting in the way.
You remember them, so you clearly do.
I'm not even gonna lie that I have a guilty pleasure with that song. I do enjoy it.
It is a great song, and it's a great video as well.
Yeah, you know what? If anything, I would actually say that the English being so bad in that song is one of the things that make it so freaking memorable. Just because the lyrics with the way that she says it, you kind of like, wait, she said what now?
I can't help but think when I hear that. It's like, so I like that side, but the thing is, I believe that they didn't write the lyrics.
No, 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 they totally did not write
Well,
them.
it doesn't sound like. So all I keep on thinking is, I mean, maybe I should find out who wrote them because I just have this constant disturbing image that it might have been some dirty middle-aged man who saw them in their outfits and wrote the lyrics. That's what always ruins it for me. I'm like listening to a lyrics, I'm just thinking about some middle-aged man writing them and then giving them to Saiki, and she's like reading it in katakana.
Yeah, I don't understand this, but
You
okay.
make me so wet. Hi, 大丈夫です.
Oh no, that song's a guilty pleasure. I'm not even gonna lie.
What it says here? Oh, it's got the. I just typed into Google and it says the songwriters. It's giving me 3 distinctly Western names, and I don't know.
Oh God, that makes it even worse.
Well, I'm scared to read them in case these are just the people who like. No, can't translate the lyrics. Was it actually by someone called Scott, someone called Andrew, and someone called Emily? Because that I'm really intrigued now. So if anyone knows who wrote the lyrics to "Don't Let Me Down" by Band-Maid, let us know.
If there's anything that I know, especially with the trident fingers, don't trust Google.
I love the fact that in your eyes it's like Trident, this like really cool young youthful new band of like 3 young women who always look cool, and you had them pegged down after a Google search as like a bunch of old hairy men in their mid-40s.
This is what happens when you give me like 5-minute prep time and I'm just like fucking Googling it, writing things down. I didn't even stop to think.
Don't blame me for your research methods, all right?
Yeah, Google really screwed me over that day. But yeah,
that was one of my favorite videos. That's one of my favorite.
I fucking hate that video.
All right, dude.
So
I think on that note, I'm going to encourage people go check out the video where Neon forgets who Trident are, and yeah, I think we'll wrap this one up. Yeah, basically. Again, it's one of those ones where I think this video is definitely aimed at people who are already like Band-Maid fans, because I think you guys will know that like this is the kind of conversation that I think a lot of Band-Maid fans have been having in the comments and stuff. And it's not that we like hate the song or anything. It's just because it's like it's really interesting that I think we were all prepped to be like shocked, maybe weirded out, maybe like, oh, what crazy stuff is going to happen. And then when we all heard the song, we were like, okay, yeah, that was good. And it's like I think we were all just like prepped for some kind of a surprise. So yeah, basically, if you're watching this, I think if you're a Band-Maid fan, you'll know that this is just a Band-Maid fan type of discussion.
Well, hopefully, this is what I mean. This is 2 actual fans talking honestly, giving our personal opinions, and not sugarcoating it for views. Because we could do that. We could kiss ass and gush, like, and be like 70 of a billion other channels. But this is we talk to each other like we talk to you guys in a pub and have a general, really good conversation, and not take it for mugs, basically.
No, we're gonna go listen to the best Band-Maid album, which of course is. So see you guys later. Anyway,
we did so well. We did so well there.
Conqueror, my friends. Conqueror is the best. Everyone's gonna hate me. I know people don't like me for saying that, but Conqueror is like just an example of beautiful writing. It's a brilliantly written album. And y'all don't like it. Y'all don't agree with me just because of the problems with the mixing.
Well, yeah, the mixing aside, Conquer is one of those albums that actually grows on me a little bit more each time. It's like a fine wine. It ages really, really nicely. Unlike us, we age like milk. On that note,
on that sour note,
thanks everybody for joining. We really, really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll be interested again to know your thoughts, opinions, and so let us know in the comments down below. After a few listens, just be honest. You can berate us if you want or agree with us. Let us know in the comments. Give us your honest opinions and thoughts. Don't forget to like as well the video and subscribe. I know we don't say it very often. It's at the end of the video, so make sure to do that. Every time we say it, we get a bump in subs, which is really, really good. So keep doing it. We really, really appreciate it. It helps us out more than you know. So with that, keep your ears to the east. Surely that's north.
I don't know what side of the planet you're on, but this is the east.
Okay, you can get out of here now.